Now, from the conversations that I've had with various companies, there's been two big challenges for them. So the first one is knowing and understanding, that's the key bit, the mental health of your staff and that sort of baseline that you can then track over time. The second challenge is actually accessing mental health support for your staff, making sure that it's right compared to what current models do, such as employee assistance programs that give your staff access to support based on availability, not matching to the right therapist. Question two, what do you think needs to change? Now, as I mentioned before, I think understanding the well-being of your staff is really important. Clearly, that's because it can, increase productivity when they're feeling happier. But also, it's good practice to do that, to create a culture that you care. And I think it's really important that organisations don't just think of it as a monetary cost, but as an investment in the future of your culture and also the well-being of your staff. But also understanding that change over time is really important, as that's something that you can measure and actually have some tangible results to go to board of directors about, for example.
I think the hardest part of supporting staff during the pandemic has been that we just simply haven't been around each other. We haven't been there in person to be able to spot some of the triggers or put in place that support ourselves.
So what's been difficult about supporting staff during the pandemic is the loss of tangible connected spaces where we can sense what's going on for each other. What we need to change as a result of this is becoming better at recognising when people are struggling with their well-being and when their stress levels are rising, and that takes conversations and line management, and it takes preventative work, so staff understanding what it looks like when they're struggling before they're struggling.
What is the one thing your company organisation has done to support staff? Right in the beginning of the pandemic, we launched Own Community, which is a company-wide initiative where we do webinars, talks, activities, exercise classes to help people with their well-being, their mental health, social connectivity, and that's still ongoing now.
We're a mental health organisation supporting young people. So clearly we're all about wellbeing, and one of the ways in which we organisationally have supported our staff and also our volunteers has been to create a buddy scheme. So the idea here being that two people are matched together at random. They may not necessarily kind of overlap in terms of their work. They may not even know each other that well, but they're matched together, encouraged to talk. Work chat is actively discouraged. It's meant to be a social thing. And so for me and my buddy, we had phone calls at first and video calls. Then we went for walks in Victoria Park. That was very lovely. And I'm pretty sure we're going to go to the pub as soon as we can. The feedback's been really cool. It's been really well received. And I think we'll probably continue to do that after lockdown as well. Cheers.
One thing we did as an organisation that was very much led by our principal was to set up a partnership with a specialist practitioner, a local counselling centre, the Somerset Counselling Centre. Staff were also at the same time given the time and the resource to explore mental health and develop their own strategies. One of the key initiatives that we set up were staff MOTs, where staff are able to book in with a wellbeing specialist, just a 45-minute session to talk about their own wellbeing, but also discuss strategies about how to tackle some of the challenges that they were facing. At the same time, we also put in a number of physical wellbeing activities, both remotely throughout the pandemic and in person as we've returned to the campus, as we are very much aware of the link between physical and mental wellbeing.
What would be great to be changed would be to use technology to our advantage to incorporate mini wellbeing ideas. And for example, I love the idea of walking meetings. So how can technology be adapted to incorporate those small breaks during the day, during the working routine? What we've done differently this year as a team is have outdoor team meetings, which have proved really popular and enable us to have that space away from our screens and give that real time to our planning.
What do you think needs to change? I'm not sure I got anything specific that needs to change. I would say though that during the pandemic, everyone's is a lot more open about their mental health and their well-being, and everyone's talks, and everyone is more aware of what other people need. So I don't think we need to change that. We need to carry on that, and we need to keep going with that and carry on being more open and honest and keeping conversations flowing.
We so often think of resilience as being an individual trait that can be increased through individual interventions like mindfulness. But psychologists now define resilience as being the capacity of a system, deliberately not referring to the capacity of individuals. The change I would like to see is us trying to increase the resilience of our environments in order that all individuals are able to thrive. Thank you.